Hi, my name is Dr. Greg Gorman. I'm a chiropractor. I've been in clinical practice in San Francisco for about 25 years at this point. And I just recently have started branching out into coaching, primarily coaching new chiropractors or chiropractors that are potentially struggling a little bit. And I want to talk about something that I'm noticing in the profession, which is a little bit disturbing to me. It's nothing new. I think with the advent of these type of platforms, also Instagram and Facebook, it's just a little bit more of a salient point to talk about right now. And it's the coaches that promise. One gentleman I noticed is saying, docs, I can add another 20K per month to your collections, right? Sounds good. Sounds awesome. Other ones are saying that they can add 50K to your collections per month. And I saw a video on this platform of a chiropractor talking about the fact that he made $450,000 a year. And that sounds also quite attractive. But, you know, on a lot of this, I think I'm just calling bullshit. I've been in practice for a long time. I have a lot of friends who are chiropractors. I don't know anybody that pulls in that kind of money. I think these people are serious outliers. It's awesome if you can do that, but let's do a little bit of math here. And actually wrote some things down because I'm terrible with numbers. So if you're doing 50K a month, right, you're going to need to see about 40 people a day, 5 days a week. If you spend 8 hours a day working, you have to see people for 4.75 minutes. And you have to work 8 hours with no breaks. To get to an extra 20K a month, that is an extra 307 people a month. That comes out to about an extra 76 a week, and that translates to an extra 15 a day. Now, that gentleman that was talking about making 450K, first of all, why are you telling us how much you're making? That's a little bit crass, but let's just break this down. Now, this seems a little bit more doable, but I think what he was telling us is that he was netting it, which I don't think is, I don't see how anybody could possibly do that as an individual chiropractor, but let's assume he's grossing 450. So you're going to need to see, 144 a week, right? That's 28 a day. That seems reasonable, but then you're 3.6 minutes with every patient, 8 hours with no breaks, 5 days a week. So my question is, how is this at all possibly sustainable? Now, there's questions about whether it's the right thing to do to only spend 3 to 5 minutes with a patient. I personally don't practice that way. I spend about half an hour with every patient. I charge $120. Now, the numbers I was using, I was assuming that they're charging $65. That's about normal for the United States for just a plain adjustment. I'm an ART practitioner. I could never see that many people. I used to see people, I used to do about 25 a day some weeks. When I was in Boston, we had kind of a big insurance practice. We did work comp and PI, and I wouldn't call that necessarily high volume, but for an ART practitioner, that's very high volume. And one of the things that you need to think about is you got to protect your body. So I got done with that practice in Boston in 2003, and at that point, my back was trashed. It was completely trashed. I could never do that volume of people again. And how sustainable is this? Even if people can do this, which I'm calling bullshit on, but let's just assume they're not lying. How long are you going to be able to do it for? My goal for my coaching clients is that you make enough money to pay your bills and enough money to have a very comfortable life. You can make a lot of money with your two hands. I do, but I'll tell you something, I'm not making 450K. There's no way that I could do that as an ART practitioner. I just don't have the strength. And your hands get trashed. So what is it that you want? If you're not doing well and you're attracted to those people, they many times give you kind of a shaming, there's a shaming vibe in it just a little bit. And if you're struggling, if you're not doing well and you see that, that's going to foster a lot of imposter syndrome in you. You're going to feel like you want to quit. 25% of chiropractors are not practicing in the third year after graduation. So let that sink in. Why do you think that's happening? I think part of it is the shaming bullshit with money that chiropractic coaches do. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that you can make $50K a month as a chiropractor, because if you can, you're a serious outlier and you probably don't need me. But if you're struggling and these kind of things are triggering you, you hear all the hyperbole from the coaches about the miracles and the 300 people a day. How sustainable is that for your hands, for your back, and for your head? Because the amount of stress when you have that many patients is pretty high. And also, how are you giving good care to people if you only have 3 to 5 minutes to talk to them? I'm sorry, I just don't buy this shit. So let's stop it. We shoot ourselves in the foot with all this hyperbole. Let's stop doing it. If this message resonates with you, look up my website, drgreggorman.coach, or ping me here and let's get to work and let's make you have a happy, prosperous practice. But I'm not going to promise you that you're going to bring in $50K a month, because bullshit.